What is up, y'all? I'm letting you guys know from the jump of this video that I'm going to be ranting for the first few minutes, okay, about nothing pertaining to the topic of this video. So I'm giving you guys a little bit of a warning, like fast forward a few minutes if you guys don't want to hear my ranting, okay? Then we'll get into the Trisha Paytas, Manny Mua, Laura Lee type of stuff. But y'all, this literally just happened right before I hit record, and I was like, I have to share it with you because I'm so embarrassed. I look so stupid. Low-key, I wish this was like recorded. I was on the phone with my homegirl, and y'all, there was this, I will put that picture right here. There was this gigantic spider up on my wall, and I started freaking out because, yes, look, I'm a big man. I am 6'2", 225 pounds, okay? I am huge, but I am just like scared of spiders. I don't care, like they bother me. I just freak out of them, okay? I apologize. I know everyone's like, oh my gosh, it's just a spider, but no, I literally freak out. So please tell me why. I was like, okay, let me go get some spray. I'm gonna go get some spray. I go to spray and this thing jumps. It literally jumps and it flies, and I'm in the middle of doing my bedding, and all my bedding is black, and I had it like laying right underneath where it fell, and of course it fell into my bedding. Okay, I haven't washed it yet, so I don't even like, I'm not tripping about that, but I'm like going crazy looking for it, and I was like, this cheap ass bug spray doesn't work, and my homegirl's like what brand in it? I was like, it's some brand like that's in Spanish. Please tell me why. I'm on the phone with her and I'm like freaking out. My heart is racing and I'm like, it's this cheap brand. Like, I don't know, like why don't I have Raid? I got this like cheap ass brand. It's called El Eliminator. Y'all, it's literally Eliminator. It's Eliminator. And I dead ass thought this was in Spanish. Just so you guys know where my brain is at right now, I was losing my mind. And then my homegirl has the audacity to go and tell me, she was like, her man's name's Hugo, but we call him Juice. She's like, Juice would just smash it with his hand. And I said, first of all, I'm not Juice. Second of all, he has big ass blimp hands. Like, no spider's gonna be able to penetrate his skin. If you guys were to see his fingers, I'm like, y'all, he's like a size like 15 ring. I'm like, clearly he could handle a spider, not me. I got dainty little hands, okay? Anyways, I did find the spider and it was Eliminator. I'm just playing, y'all. That was so stupid. But legitimately, she was like, bitch, I wish I was recording this call right now. I wish I could have recorded it because I was freaking out. My heart rate literally jumped up. Like, it went from like 85 to like 105. Like, I'm not even exaggerating. I just freaked out so much. So I apologize, y'all. I'm a little distraught right now. I'm literally thinking that spider. If you guys would have saw the way I sprayed it and then it like jumped, I was like, oh my God, that would happen into. First of all, if you guys saw from the picture, it is a black ass spider onto my black ass bedding. And y'all, my bedding is dark black. Like, it's not faded or nothing. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't find it anywhere. And I would not been able to sleep tonight if I couldn't find that spider. So I am so sorry. I just had to share that story with you guys because not us busting up on the phone of me thinking that was like El Eliminator. Like, what the hell? It's Eliminator. Like, I'm so dumb. My brain sometimes, I'm like, why can't I be blessed to be smart? I don't know. Any which ways, I am so sorry. Ranting out the way, we're going to be talking about Trisha Paytas, Manny Mua, and Laura Lee because recently Trisha Paytas talked about them on her podcast, and then in return, Manny Mua and Laura Lee talked about Trisha Paytas on their podcast. You know what's so crazy is I know a lot of people are kind of like, oh, like maybe they should go on each other's podcast, but for some reason, I don't know why, I don't really feel like they like mesh. I don't know. I feel like they just have, I don't know, differences or whatnot. But then maybe, I don't know, I feel like actually Trisha Paytas, okay, I'm not even saying this to be rude or anything, but I think of Trisha Paytas as like so unintentionally funny, and I just feel like she just says whatever is on her mind without a filter. And I just really, I'm not being shady. I feel like Manny Mua and Laura Lee are very filtered. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like they really think about what they say before they say it because they're so scared of like cancellation. They're so scared of like losing brand deals, and I just feel that Trisha Paytas is like, well, I don't have any sponsors anyways, I don't really care, and I just say whatever's on my mind, and I just don't, I don't know, I feel like it would be like, I don't know, am I the only one that thinks that way? Maybe I'm overthinking this, but I really do feel like I don't really see them being on each other's podcasts. Like, I feel like their energies don't really mesh, but I'm interested to see. You guys know, I've said it time and time again, I feel like specifically Manny MUA, I feel like after his cancellation, I feel like he's so, I feel like calculated is used in a bad sense, but hopefully you guys can understand what I'm saying. Like, he seems very calculated. Like, he seems like he's just really thought out because he's so scared to get canceled again, which I'm just kind of like, okay, I get it. His cancellation was big and it was like literally on the news. But I feel like at some point in your life, you got to just let that go. And honestly, everyone can get canceled for any little thing. Like, any single time I make a video, I can get canceled. If you guys have watched my podcast before, y'all know clearly I have absolutely no filter and I'll just say whatever's on my mind. And I could have got canceled 500 times for everything that I've said on that damn podcast. And you know what? At the end of the day, it is what it is. And honestly, I don't care. Like, I literally don't care because my opinion is my opinion and that's just it. Anyways, I'm so sorry. Like, let me take a breath right now and then we'll get into the juiciness. So let me take a breath. Let me take a drink of water. I need to calm down because that spider, y'all, I literally started sweating. Like, I was like, where is it at? I'm like freaking out. And my homegirl's like, oh my gosh, I wish I could be recording this right now. I was like, bitch, help me find this spider. Anyways, so yeah, we're gonna be talking about that. I'm gonna be playing some podcast clips. Let me take a breath. Let me take a drink and let's get into it. Oh my, y'all. Okay, I took a little bit of a breath. I took a drink of water. Hopefully I can slow down. I know my fast-paced talking really irritates some of you guys, but y'all, especially when I am like in freak out mode or if there's like something juicy that I have to get out, I just talk so damn fast. Like I really, you know what's so crazy? All of my friends are like, whenever I see your videos, like I feel like you don't talk that fast in person, but for some reason I feel like on video, I need to like hurry up and get it out or else I'm gonna forget it. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like that's partially the reason why I speak so fast on video. It's because I'm like, whatever's in my brain, I gotta hurry up and get it out. As to where if I'm with a friend in person and we're kicking it for hours, if I lose my train of thought or something, it's not being recorded, so it really doesn't matter. Do you know what I mean? Hopefully that makes sense. Anyways, the first thing that I wanna go ahead and play within this video is because this does have to pertain to everything. Okay, so I'm gonna start this off by actually playing a small little clip from Trisha Paytas speaking about Laura Lee's cancellation, okay? Now, I feel like I have a low-key a little bit of a hot take on this, okay? Which I'll give you guys my thoughts and opinions at the end of everything. But I feel like I'm just kind of like, okay, maybe I'm seeing this, like, I don't know, in a different light than they are, because I don't really think it was that bad, in my personal opinion. But anyways, go ahead and check out this clip right here.
All from Southern who knows where, just like super insecure, to this day still so insecure. You can see it through this video, just like fake crying doesn't affect her at all. Like, this is not affecting her at all. Like, girl, don't even come on video don't do a fake cry. Like, if anything, be like, compose yourself. If you're not a crier, and some people aren't criers when they're sad or when they're upset, like, compose yourself. Don't like fake anything. Like, when people can see right through it.
As y'all saw from right there, Trisha Paytas was just giving like her, 2 cents on the whole situation with Laura Lee, and she was talking about her apology video. And I have to say too, like if you guys watched her apology video at the time, that apology video was kind of ridiculous. Like, let's just go ahead and keep it real here. I feel like Laura Lee was trying so hard to push out some tears so that way people can like feel bad for her and be like, oh my gosh, like I feel so bad. Like, let me accept her apology. And it's like, in my personal opinion, I feel like her making that apology video made her cancellation even bigger than what her cancellation was before that. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like more people were talking about her apology video than what she was actually canceled for, which I was like, whoa, maybe this was a bad move and you should not have uploaded that video, because it really seemed like it was like calculated, thought out, and it seemed like she was trying to like act in it. I feel like she was really trying to like, I don't know, y'all, it came across to me as if like she was sending in like one of those like reels, say for example, if you're doing like a casting call and they're like, okay, I need you to cry, this is what you need to do. I feel like she was like tapping into character of who this person she thought she should be and did that. You know what I mean? And look, I'm not gonna sit here and like throw stones when I live in a glass house. Y'all know I have like said it so many damn times on the internet, even though it's so crazy because I never got canceled for anything, but I'm just a real ass person, and I know that I have said some really messed up things before in the past. I know that I am very blunt. I know I'm very direct. I know, y'all, I'm very unfiltered. If you guys have seen me before on the podcast to where I'm talking for like 2 hours, I literally just say everything, and I crack jokes about everything. Like, y'all, I talk so much shit. That's just who I am. So I know that I've said some really offensive things. I know that I've said some things before that will probably trigger some people. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like if it ever came down to the point to where I needed to make an apology about it, I'm just gonna be like, y'all, I said, this joke, and I'll never say it again. I apologize for it, and that's just it. I don't feel like you have to like force a tear out. Do you know what I mean? It's just kind of like, just be accepting, just be acknowledge that you made a mistake, and that's just it. I feel like Laura Lee was going for like a performance over here that I was like, whoa, you didn't really need to do. So I feel personally that everyone on the internet was talking about Laura Lee's apology video. Do you know what I mean? So I don't really understand why it turned into this whole thing of like, which we will get into, of what Trisha Paytas did was really uncool, which I'm like, y'all, everyone was talking about it. And you know what's so crazy now? I feel like, y'all, people are just so damn hypocritical. A lot of people, especially influencers, are hypocritical because they all talk about people like, oh, we shouldn't talk about each other's like, past and cancellations, and we shouldn't talk about each other's drama. And it's like, everyone now has a podcast, so everyone talks about everybody. So now, in my personal opinion, there is no difference between a drama video like this, for example, and versus a podcast. It's like, if you're talking about somebody else, you're talking about somebody else. So I feel like everybody else, including Laura Lee and Manny Mua, like they've recently talked about Tana Mojo. They've talked about like, other influencers before and their drama. So I'm just kind of like, okay, we all kind of do this, you know what I mean? And I have to say, about time, because for the longest time I had this complex of making drama videos that people are like, oh my gosh, you have such a big mouth. Like, oh my gosh, you're such a chismoso. And I'm like, we all talk. Literally, straight guys, straight girls, gay guys. Like, literally everyone talks. So I don't know what this whole, like, this whole perception of people that talk online, like, oh my gosh, you have no life. And it's like, no, we're literally over here just talking like everyone else does. You know what I mean? Because fast forward to now, Trisha Paytas said that she's going to go on like an apology tour. And then she felt the need to apologize to Laura Lee. Go ahead and check this out right here.
Then I was like, should I go on Laura Lee's and apologize to her? Just go everywhere.
Might as well.
I'm sure I said something about Manny. I could apologize to him too.
I'm sure you definitely.
At some point.
Yes, I'm sure there's a clip somewhere.
Maybe not though, because I never like to hate on like gay people too much. I don't want to see like a hate crime or anything like that. You know what I mean? So I feel like I've always been nice to, I don't want to come across that way. But Laura, I probably definitely did a video at some point.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Whether warranted or not. We've all moved on.
I know.
Yeah.
I just say sorry to everyone. I went to 4th of July once at Joey's house and Manny was there. And I remember it was only like 7 people. And it was like super awkward because I'm pretty sure maybe I did say something about Manny at one point because he was not talking to me. And it was super awkward because it was literally like 6 people and I was one of the 6. And I was just like, oh, this is awkward. It was like Manny,
Well,
Joey,
I can see
Danielle.
it too because he's like so like ride or die for Laura. So like, especially maybe if we didn't say anything about Manny directly, just coming for Laura would have been enough. Maybe to make him like
For
not
sure.
wanna-
As y'all can see from right there, she's saying maybe I should apologize to Laura Lee too. Well, I guess that they actually saw this, Manny Mua and Laura Lee, and they talked about it on their podcast. I'm gonna go ahead and play their clip so that way you guys can see what they had to say, and then I'll give you guys my thoughts and opinions.
I don't know if you had saw this recently where Trisha talked about us on her podcast.
I, in fact, did say this.
She was talking about like, I was at this thing with Manny Mua and he was really awkward and didn't talk to me. And I was like, yup. I literally was like, yeah, I didn't talk to you. And it's so funny because Oscar literally took the words like out of the situation. He was like, well, don't you think it's because you were like being rude to Laura and he just like writes for Laura so much as his bestie, so he's not gonna be all buddy with you? And she was like,
Right.
you right.
Okay, seeing from right there, there's this whole thing of like Manny Mua felt the need to be protective over Laura Lee. And I totally do get that at the time, but also as somebody who is on the internet and somebody that does talk too, I feel like obviously now he could look at it back in a different perspective and say, hey, you know what? She was just talking online like everyone else does. She made this video talking about the situation. And maybe during that time, Manny Mua felt like, oh my gosh, like that was uncool because a lot of big influencers maybe weren't talking about it and just drama channels were talking about it, which I could understand, but I feel like his perspective, in my opinion, should have changed by now to be like, hey, I totally get it, like everyone was talking about it. I felt bad because that was my best friend and I seen how hurt she was and how big this like cancellation was and how much it took a toll on her mental health, but I do understand why Trisha Paytas did it because obviously she is an online character and it was a hot topic at the time, and Trisha Paytas is known for making these types of videos to where she'll just get on camera and just rant about anything that she wants to rant about. So this is why I'm kind of like, I don't really understand this whole like narrative here of like, oh, what Trisha Paytas did was like uncool, because I'm like, everyone was doing it. Everyone was talking about that Laura Lee apology video. In my personal opinion, like y'all, if I was doing drama videos at that time, like I would have definitely made some videos about it too. But during that time, obviously I was just so focused on makeup. But y'all, within my personal life, you bet your ass I was talking about it to like everybody else. And if I had a podcast at the time or if I was doing drama videos, I surely would have talked about it too. Do you know what I mean? So I don't really see it as that big of a deal. But anyways, I have to say, I feel, this is just my opinion, I feel like Laura Lee and Manny Mua would really like to get on Trisha Paytas' podcast because y'all, Trisha Paytas' podcast pulls in numbers, so it would be very beneficial for them. So I really do wonder if Trisha would pull them on. I low-key almost feel like she would, only because, they have a podcast, they're popular too, and she does bring on a lot of guests. So I would be really interested to know if they do go on there, and I really would be interested too to know, or like curious, I guess I would say, of how the conversation would go. I'm really curious about that. Like low-key, maybe I do want them on there just because I'm nosy, but I don't know. Even though I still feel like their energies don't really match, I feel like they're like low-key kind of, a little different in my opinion. I don't know. For some reason, can I tell you guys this? I don't know why for some reason, I feel like Trisha Paytas, to me, she doesn't really like seem judgmental at all. She seems like she is just open, And I feel like for some reason, I don't know. I feel like I get that vibe from like Laura Lee and Manny Mua that they kind of would be like, I don't know, a little judgmental, like a little bit like, I don't know. They seem a little pretentious. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. If you guys get that, same type of feel, let me know. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. I have met Manny Mua like a couple times now, and he's very nice. He's very nice. I have to say that, but I don't know. Just meeting somebody, obviously, you can't really tell. But make sure you guys let me know your thoughts and opinions about everything. I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out, Girl Scout.